brought to you by Tiflik Laser Surgery Centers. Your vision for the future.
On World News Tonight this Thursday at the White House, Syria and Israel make another commitment to the peace process. The president tells us that America will pay what it takes to make it happen. The Columbine High School students are harassed again. How they wish they were no longer news. So what does this handshake in New Hampshire mean? A demonstration of public virtue. And shopping and shipping on the internet with 9 days until Christmas. Will your e-present get there?
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Good evening. Nobody expected to make peace between Israel and Syria in 2 days. But at the White House today, both countries could clearly see enough of an outline that they're going to go home, and then right after the new year, they're going to come back to continue negotiations. Here's ABC's John Cochran.
There was always a risk bringing together people who were mortal enemies. But the risk paid off when President Clinton said they have agreed to return to Washington on January 3rd and to do whatever is necessary to try to reshape the Mideast.
They agreed to take steps to ensure that these negotiations will be conducted in a productive and positive atmosphere.
That is code language for confidence-building measures the president wants both sides to take. The Syrians could return the bodies of Israelis killed in the 1982 war in Lebanon. Syria could make efforts to return the body of an Israeli spy hanged in Damascus 34 years ago. Israel could stop its allies in Lebanon from shelling southern Lebanon. It happened today, and 20 children were wounded. Syria would have to rein in the Islamic extremist group Hezbollah, which it allows to operate from Lebanese territory controlled by the Syrians.
They both understood the importance of not having terrorist activities disrupt the peace process.
A process that will still be difficult. Israel knows it will have to give up the Golan Heights, which it seized in the 1967 war. But the Israelis do not want to give up a monitoring station there that enables them to eavesdrop on the Syrian capital, Damascus. Still, the one thing that most encourages American officials is that they are convinced this time both sides seriously want peace. John Cochran, ABC News, the White House.
President Clinton has an enormous stake in these negotiations, at least in terms of history. He's invested heavily in his capacity to move the Middle East players towards a permanent arrangement. At the White House today, I asked the president about the price of American involvement and perhaps Americans to monitor a peace agreement.
It'll be money well spent, and I will certainly try to persuade the Congress to support it, although I think there always has been broad bipartisan support for investments in the Middle East peace. And there's a lot of long-term economic interests that will accrue to the United States if we can achieve a comprehensive peace in the region.
And American troops on the Golan Heights to keep the peace?
That has not been raised yet, and I don't want to cross that bridge until we come to it. I'm not sure that that will be at issue.
More on the president tomorrow, having to do with the century, his dreams and hopes. In Russia today, military commanders are going out of their way to say there was no ambush of Russian soldiers in the Chechen capital Grozny, while eyewitnesses continue to report that many Russians died in a gun battle overnight. There's reason to believe the eyewitnesses. In Moscow, here's ABC's Clay Scott.
It was a column of Russian tanks and armored personnel carriers like this, which reporters saw move into the capital. Almost immediately, the Russians were surrounded by Chechen forces. Whether it was a convoy gone astray or a botched reconnaissance mission, the result was disastrous. Reporters saw 15 Russian vehicles destroyed, roughly 100 Russian soldiers dead. Russian military officials spent much of today saying it never happened. There was no attack on tanks, says this general, because no tanks were in the area. Other officials accused the West of using reporters as spies to spread disinformation. The Russians have a reason to worry about reports of large-scale casualties in Chechnya. On New Year's Eve 5 years ago, more than 1,000 Russian soldiers died when they were ambushed by the Chechens. It was the event that turned the Russian public against the war. Today, one of Russia's most respected military analysts said the army needs to lie about the current war.
If the facts are reported, this would be a major PR disaster for the Russian military and for the Russian government. We're all the time saying very low losses, wonderful army. The Chechens are on the run.
The war in Chechnya is still popular here. It is still portrayed as a successful fight against terrorists, a conflict that will be wrapped up within weeks. Today's news suggests that all of those things could change. Clay Scott, ABC News, Moscow.
When World News Tonight continues, Columbine High School closed again because of the threat of violence. And when a wedding really means leaving your old life behind.
Folks, I know we've been playing football on Mondays for over 25 years. But our friend Gus Willie here has a problem. He bowls Monday nights.
I bowled once.
So this year, we're going to do things just a little differently.
Wouldn't it be great if everyone tried to make your life easier?
Catch all the action on Thursday Morning Football.
We do. 5-Star, a new way to sell and service cars and trucks. It's better. We'll prove it.
If you wear dentures, imagine how nervous teaching teenagers could make you feel. What if your dentures slipped? But thanks to the all-day hold of Super Polygrip, those days are over. I think that says a lot about the power of Polygrip.
Can you believe it? My husband, Nolan Ryan, has arthritis. So his doctor says stay active and take Advil to make it easier. I take it for my arthritis pain, so we can exercise together.
Advil, stronger than pain. I should have used Preparation H. Cool it fast. Introducing Preparation H Cooling Gel. Cools on contact for fast relief. New Preparation H Cooling Gel cools on contact.
Pity poor Columbine High School in Colorado. It is still not free from torment. Classes were canceled this morning after a threat was made on the internet. Everyone is safe, but feeling safe is another matter. ABC's Tom Foreman reports from Denver.
At Columbine today, fear, frustration, anger, and disappointment. All the feelings students here keep trying to put behind them.
I am definitely sick of it, and I just want kids to stop doing it. I don't know if it's kids or adults, whoever's threatening, but seriously, it's old, and we just want to get back to life.
The latest threat comes during a week in which people here had to deal with the release of videotapes of the gunmen on their rampage, and as they prepared for their killing spree.
Certainly this last week, with all of the media exposure, national and local, folks are really tired and are saying, when will this ever end?
It is tough on the parents, too. Luke Higgins has 2 children at Columbine.
A lot of it brings back bad memories. I mean, seeing bloody kids in front of me, you know, it's not a pretty sight. And I just kind of wish that it would all come to an end.
School officials say when classes resume here in January, they will try once again to get things back to normal. But they fear for many parents and students, this was the last straw.
A lot of my friends, they're leaving and going to different schools after the semester.
And teachers say they are afraid many families may now consider that option. Tom Foreman, ABC News, Littleton.
A government panel which gives advice on terrorism said very publicly today that the government may be spending its money in the wrong places. The panel said that too much money is being spent trying to ward off an attack with chemical or biological weapons and too little against the much more likely attack with conventional bombs or conventional weapons. It also warns of possible biological attack against the nation's food supply. The Justice Department said today it is suing a chain of luxury hotels for systematically discriminating against blacks. The Adams Mark hotels have been charged with forcing black customers to pay higher rates than whites and segregating them in less desirable rooms. The owner denies the charges. In Miami today, American Airlines agreed to plead guilty and pay an $8 million fine for what was described as slipshod handling of hazardous cargo. Prosecutors said the airline put passengers at risk and said the record fine should serve as a warning to other airlines. In the past 5 years, there have been more than 6,000 incidents involving hazardous materials on planes. Just ahead, a first in presidential politics.
Hershey's Pot of Gold? What are you, crazy? We hardly know them.
Bill? Hi.
Hi.
Hershey's Pot of Gold. It's that good.
Sooner or later, you're going to quit smoking. So consider this. A quick date this good won't come along for another 1,000 years. Don't waste it. Quit with Nicoderm CQ. CQ's got the 3 gradual steps, and hundreds of thousands of smokers have already quit with it. Wasn't 1 millennium smoking enough? Start the next one with Nicoderm CQ. The power to calm, the power to comfort, the power to help you quit.
This holiday, over 7 million pets will be homeless. But when you buy a limited edition PetSmart ornament for $4.99, you can help. All proceeds go to PetSmart charities to benefit local homeless animals. Make a pet's holiday wish come true at PetSmart.
Yeah, let me get this straight.
Yes.
Are you actually saying I don't have to pay you a separate commission every time I trade a stock?
Exactly.
I'd pay an annual fee instead.
Right.
Is anyone getting this?
We don't pay you a commission every time we trade. What's your motivation?
It's just like always, Ann, your best interest.
Could you just explain it again?
Maybe what it is the fee is based on the value of our portfolios. So when we succeed, they succeed.
You'll have to be patient with us. This is all very new.
Thanks for making Aleve. For almost 5 years, I had a hard time walking. I went from doctor to doctor and even had surgery on both knees. Pain relievers like Tylenol quit after a few hours and the pain came back. Finally, a doctor suggested Aleve. Within a week, I was dancing all night like I hadn't done in years.
Aleve can stop pain all day with just 2 pills. It would take 8 Tylenol to do that.
Now people say I'm a walking advertisement for Aleve.
All day strong, all day long.
There was an unprecedented political event in New Hampshire today. Never before have 2 presidential candidates from opposing parties come together to promise that if they're chosen as their party's nominee, they will not allow any so-called soft money to be spent on their behalf. The Democrat, Bill Bradley, and the Republican, John McCain, did just that today. ABC's Cokie Roberts reports from Claremont, New Hampshire.
First, the handshake, then the pledge to accept no unregulated soft money given by corporations and unions to political parties, signed on the spot of another handshake more than 4 years ago.
How's that?
That pledge to clean up money in politics died soon after it was made, leaving behind skeptical voters.
Why should we believe that your pledge today will have any different result?
The fact is that I'm committed to it, and I will remain committed until the last breath I draw.
If we're the nominees of our party, we will not accept soft money for our presidential campaigns.
It was an unusual event, a meeting of the candidates and New Hampshire voters, moderated by ABC's Ted Koppel, candidates crossing party lines on this one issue.
Above all, we need a sense of bipartisanship that puts nation above party. And that's what this meeting today is all about.
That's music to the ears of New Hampshire's independent voters, who make up more than a third of the electorate, can cast a ballot in either party's primary, and seem to care more about campaign finance reform than most other voters. Nationwide, only 1% put the issue at the top of their list in an ABC poll. That's why politicians have played fast and loose with this issue. And even today's well-staged event includes an asterisk on the pledge. McCain says he won't take unregulated money, period. Bradley says he won't only if the Republican nominee refuses soft money. Al Gore says the same thing. It's a promise they won't have to keep if the Republicans nominate front-runner George W. Bush. Cokie Roberts, ABC News, Claremont, New Hampshire.
You saw Senator Bradley and Senator McCain and Ted Koppel outside in New Hampshire today. It's a town meeting. It'll be on Nightline this evening. In a Maryland courtroom today, Monica Lewinsky testified against her former friend Linda Tripp. A judge is trying to decide if Ms. Tripp will stand trial for taping phone calls between the 2 women, which is illegal in Maryland without mutual consent. Ms. Lewinsky testified that she had no idea her confessions were being taped. On the money tonight, a very optimistic forecast for the stock market today from one of the most influential analysts on Wall Street. Abby Joseph Cohen of Goldman Sachs predicts the Dow Jones Industrial Average will have another good year in 2000, finishing at 12,300, mostly because she believes there'll be another year of low inflation and strong corporate earnings. On Wall Street today, the Dow Jones Industrial Average was up more than 19 points to close at 11,244. On the NASDAQ, stocks were up 93 points. Surely we think this is another example of self-interested research, but we pass it on for the common interest if not the common good. Researchers in Canada have discovered that the secret to James Bond's healthy glow may lie in his signature drink, a martini shaken, not stirred. The study was partly funded by a distillery. It says that a shaken martini has more antioxidants, the natural chemicals that work in our bodies to guard against disease. Okay? Just ahead, meeting supply and demand on the internet in time for Christmas. We'll take a closer look.
World News Tonight with Peter Jennings and a closer look. Brought to you by Aflac. Without it, no insurance is complete.
Why do I have Aflac insurance on top of my regular health insurance? Because she throws like a boy and dances like an angel. Because we've shared the same heartbeat. And because Aflac helps cover what other insurance doesn't. If I'm sick, Aflac even provides cash to help pay bills. So why do I have Aflac? Because I have her. Aflac supplemental insurance. Without it, no insurance is complete.
Nobody in America sells more office products to more businesses than Office Depot.
You can shop our store. Or you can shop our catalog.
You can shop online.
Taking care of business. It's all mine. Taking care of business and working overtime.
Office Depot. Taking care of business.
What's my secret to great tasting Alfredo sauce? I start from scratch.
Introducing new Alfredo sauce from Classico, inspired by the made-from-scratch recipes of Rome.
First, I take cream so fresh, my little Angelina is still sleeping.
New Classico Alfredo has a creamy, made-from-scratch taste.
Then, I blend with Parmesan, aged as beautifully as my Aunt Sophia.
New Classico Alfredo sauce. Made from scratch taste makes it Classico.
It's time. Time for your heartburn to kick in because your heartburn relief gave out. It happens 2 or more days a week, even though you've treated it and changed your diet. That frequent, persistent heartburn may be due to acid reflux disease, potentially serious.
It's Prilosec time. Time to see your doctor about prescription Prilosec. Your results may vary, but for many people, Prilosec provides 24 hours of complete heartburn relief with 1 daily dose. Ask your doctor for more information about Prilosec and if it's right for you. The most common side effects are headache, diarrhea, and abdominal pain. 24 hours of complete heartburn relief is possible. It's Prilosec time.
Tonight we're going to take a closer look at shopping and shipping online. It really is becoming an internet Christmas. $15 billion may be spent shopping the internet this holiday season. Attracting customers and getting orders are not the only challenges facing the e-retailers. What really has them concerned is filling the orders. And so tonight, beyond the computer screen to the vital systems that keep e-commerce humming. First, here's ABC's Ned Potter.
This is what they promise at ToySmart.com. Search here, click there, press enter, and the rocket ship your kid always wanted is on its way.
It'll be there by Christmas.
But internet companies can have the coolest websites in cyberspace, and it's worthless unless they also have...
Watch it!
Marge Turcott in shipping to make sure your order gets filled.
There's toys here that I've never seen before in my life.
Marge is a picker at ToySmart's warehouse in Worcester, Massachusetts. One of 300 pickers, packers, wrappers, and shippers hired for the holidays to make sure the Scrabble set you clicked on this morning is on a FedEx truck this evening.
That's the other side of this business. It's delivering the product to the consumer and doing it very, very quickly. What the catalogers have done for years is what the internet now needs to become.
In the jargon of merchandising, this is known as fulfillment. What the customers want, the customers had better get. And if they don't get what they want, the competition is only a click away. In other words, this is really basic stuff, but you'd be surprised how many websites have not thought about it. Market researchers asked them, could they handle a doubling of business? And 90% confessed their systems might collapse under the load.
There are a lot of .com retailers in particular who are blowing huge marketing budgets on driving traffic to their sites. If they don't fulfill customer expectations, they have nothing to fall back on.
Which is why ToySmart says it spent tens of millions of dollars on its shipping operation.
It should be fine. It should be ready to go.
It got much of its funding from Disney, which of course is ABC's parent company.
You've really got to deliver on the promise and get that product to the customer, which is why we built this warehouse.
Marge goes up and down the aisles, filling 12 orders at a time from a computer printout. The computer has laid out her path so she's not zigzagging all over the warehouse. And the barcodes on every box are triple-checked to catch mistakes. Critical because companies say each angry customer will tell 5 or 6 friends.
There will be horror stories in January. I can guarantee you there will be a lot of horror stories, and it's going to affect the valuations of these companies dramatically.
And hundreds of them, the ones that did not get your package to you by Christmas, will not be around to make the same mistake next year. Ned Potter, ABC News, Worcester, Massachusetts.
Well, a number of analysts have told us there's substantial problems moving .com goods across the country, and so ABC's Deborah Amos explains that some of the more aggressive e-retailers are using shippers who know about trucks and technology.
When it positively, we picked up freight, absolutely has to get there, no matter what. Roberts Express, based in Akron, Ohio, delivers. Same day, door-to-door, 24/7. The job gets done almost entirely with trucks and a lot of high-tech communications.
We're looking at a delivery time of 5:15 Eastern Time tomorrow morning.
Here's how Roberts does it. When an order comes in, the computer screen shows every truck in the fleet. At the center of the operation is a powerful program called Dynamic Vehicle Allocation. It is a technology that scans all of the trucks, all of the driver schedules. It even looks ahead to tomorrow's orders to answer one question: which truck should take the load? And it does it all in a matter of seconds.
The speed here is incredible. We only have so many minutes to get a truck sometimes to a pickup.
Deliveries are tracked by a satellite system that monitors the trucks.
They're not even aware of it happening. It just happens, and the satellite sends them a message that says, "Where are you?" We can ping the truck, and we do once an hour as they're going down the road.
Dispatchers can check on delivery time by following the trucks all the way to a specific street.
It takes a little bit of getting used to. It did with us anyway, because we're sort of computer illiterate.
Carol and Dora Bean, truckers for 30 years, now get messages for new delivery jobs on a dashboard computer that also includes the best route and any traffic troubles ahead.
With all the electronics that we have in the truck now, it's quite a change from actually trying to call people, standing in phone booths and things like that. This is a lot better.
E-commerce works well when it stands on the shoulders of things that already do work.
Trucking is still a simple business, getting goods from point A to point B. But this new state-of-the-art technology provides a new level of speed and remarkable precision. Deborah Amos, ABC News, Akron, Ohio.
On the subject of reliability, abcnews.com, all the time. Coming up, our last item on World News tonight, a wedding in no man's land.
One more gift to buy? The big one? Well, now you can get a Gateway PC with an Intel Pentium 3 processor, including a color printer. It's just $899 after a $400 rebate with a 3-year CompuServe 2000 Premier commitment. Order by the 23rd, and it's guaranteed to be in Santa's bag. Oh, yeah. Did we mention the gift box? Call 1-800-GATEWAY.
I went on chemo at the time my oldest daughter was getting married. We had planned everything, the fabric, the design, the whole gown. But when it was time to sew the dress, the chemo, it makes you weak. My whole life I've made clothes for other people, but for my own daughter's wedding, I was too tired to make the dress.
Are you a chemotherapy patient? Ask your doctor about Procrit. Procrit is a natural way to regain red blood cells lost during chemotherapy, and more red blood cells can mean more strength. Procrit is safe and effective. In studies, only diarrhea and edema occurred more often with Procrit than placebo. Procrit is for patients with non-myeloid cancers. Call now and learn how Procrit can help you get back the strength you need. Your strength for living.
In life, you take the bitter with the sweet, but I plan to end up with more sweet.
2,000 reasons to join KATU on New Year's Eve for last run and first run, 2 runs on the same night.
Because we're giving away 2,000 of these babies that night. It's the ultimate runner or walker prize. Coming up next on Channel 2 News, neighbors say they're being overrun with adult businesses on Barber Boulevard, and new weather problems close Highway 101 between Newport and Lincoln City. We'll have the latest. I'm Steve Dunn. News of the Northwest is next.
Just a brief review of our main story today. At the White House, Israel and Syria finished their first round of talks with no real conclusions, but the longtime enemies did make enough progress. They've agreed to come right back after the new year to talk again. The White House says it believes that both Syria and Israel are very serious now about making a peace agreement. Finally this evening, the long-distance wedding and the people who wish it were not so. As you know, we began the broadcast with these negotiations between Syria and Israel. The central issue between the two countries has always been what happens to the Golan Heights. In 1967, the Israelis captured and held the Golan. After the war, several thousand Syrians called Druze were caught living on either side of a no man's land. ABC's Gillian Finley was there today.
They were preparing for 2 weddings this morning. In Syria, 2 brides in all of their finest. In Israel, 2 grooms waited with their families. What's different about this ceremony is the march down the aisle across 300 yards of no man's land that divides Syria from the Israeli-occupied Golan Heights. The marriages had been arranged by the families, so while these women prepared to join fiancés they hardly knew, they were also saying goodbye to their families, perhaps for good. Now they will live on the Israeli side of the border until some sort of peace agreement allows them to come and go freely.
Usually the bride is not allowed to come back and to see her family. It's for life.
Hala Hebrawi has escorted dozens of brides over the years. Each time, she says, it makes her cry. While the ceremony proceeded at the United Nations post in the middle of the demilitarized zone, she carried a newborn baby to the Syrian side. There was a grandmother there who had never seen her grandchild. The 2 brides were only allowed to take 10 guests with them. That frustrated friends and family who demanded to get closer.
My sister is there. She went as a bride 10 months ago. I have the right to see her. These dogs prevent us.
Then they made their move. In the end, the UN soldiers turned the crowd back. In Israel, 2 brides and 2 grooms started a new life today. In Syria, dozens of their relatives went home angry, determined that this kind of wedding will soon be a thing of the past. Julian Finley, ABC News in the Golan Heights.
The difference that real peace might make. That's our report on World News Tonight. Later on Nightline, as we said, Bill Bradley and John McCain's promise to do something about big money in Washington. I'm Peter Jennings. Have a good evening. Good night.
From ABC News, tomorrow, everyone else talks about the past. Good Morning America is preserving it for the future. And with Alanis Morissette, this is one time capsule you'll never forget. On Good Morning America tomorrow. And on World News Tonight, Bill Clinton looks back on the 20th century. Peter Jennings' exclusive interview with the president on ABC's World News Tonight. This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source.